Hello and welcome to TA for Traders. It's Thursday the 29th of June. I'm Nigel Croft. In this video we'll be looking at 2 UK stocks and 2 US stocks. In the UK we'll look at PurpleBricks, which has come out with good figures today. We'll also look at Sound Energy, which is moving back up the bulletin boards. A lot of people talking about the stock. And in America, we'll look at 2 stocks that have just had secondary offerings. Canada Goose, the manufacturer and seller of the expensive fleece coats. They came out with a secondary a couple of days ago. Critical point on their chart has been reached, which is why I'm showing it today. And then overnight there's been another secondary, a larger one on Physicians Realty, which is the code DOC, and we'll be looking at how that secondary will affect the charts on that stock. So starting in the UK and starting with PurpleBricks, and you can see that today the shares have moved up strongly on the figures. That's taken it back above the 20-day moving average. It did find support at the uptrending 50-week moving average on the 15th of June, which was good. And we have moved up today, although we are having a slight consolidation mid-morning. The RSI has ticked, it did go back below 50 on the consolidation, is now back above 50, which is good. And you can see that the MACD are turning around as well. Really, one would expect, now we're back above the moving averages, for a push, and certainly to test the resistance just above the 450 level. On the weekly, obviously the shares haven't been trading that long, but you can see the uptrend in place, and you can see the consolidation. RSI still well above 50, and the MACD still looking good. On the 4-hour chart, again, we're back above the moving averages. The 50 is still moving down, but we did find support at this 20. The 50 will turn around over the next few days, and we will get, probably in about a week, the move, a golden cross on the 20 crossing the 50. Here you can see very solid momentum, both from the RSI, which is at 67.9, and the MACD. Looking at the support to resistance for PurpleBricks, resistance at 437.58, then at the previous high 459.75, with supports coming in at the 20-day 405.49 and then 376 3/4. Moving on to Sound Energy. Here we are moving back up towards the 200-day moving average. However, that is tracking sideways. It did give support when it was moving up, but it's rolling over, so now will give a bit of resistance. That's at 71.16, so marginally above where we are. If this stock can get back above 80, that moving average will move back up. You can see that on the 19th of June there was a golden cross as the 20 crossed the 50. That was positive. It was also positive today on the open, that we opened on the 20-day and rose from it, so that's definitely giving support. If we can get back above the 200, I think we'll see this 20 catch up and push this stock higher, with the next key resistance level seen in the 85 to 90 range. On the RSI, it's slightly drifting at the moment, but it is above the 50 level. Volume on the stock, you can see, has been drifting. Really, if we do move back above 80, we want to see more volume. You can see previously especially this period here in January when we had the good move up. There was increased volume, so we do need to see better volume. The MACD are above zero but aren't yet indicating any positive momentum. On the 4-hour chart, here we found support at the 50 average, the 54-hour average, and we're now back above the 20. That will start to turn up very shortly as we move on. Hopefully it'll turn up in the next few days before we get the 50 catching up. Here you can see the RSI is just moved back above 50. MACD are bottoming just above the 0 and may start to move up. Keep an eye on that. Looking at the support resistance levels for Sound Energy, as I said, that 200-day is critical resistance at the moment, 79.16. Then the next resistance level is 82, with supports coming in at those moving averages, the 20-day 73.89 and the 50-day at 71.21. Let's move over to the States, and let's go to, sorry, I'll just turn the cursor off. Goose Canada, or Canada Goose. You can see that it's had this secondary that's hit the shares over the last few days. It's taken it down to a very critical support level, and that is the low of the 2nd of June. I'll give you a rough guide now, 20.08. I'll give you the full picture when we go to the at the end. If it goes below there is a gap to be filled. It will fill that gap once it goes below that level, and you would expect it to kind of fill right down to the 18.5 level. The RSI is now indicative of in a downtrend of negative momentum, although it is still marginally above 50, and the MACD are also tracking down. Here on the weekly, there's very little data. It was a recent IPO, so really not worth looking there. And actually, on the 4-hour, looks very similar to the daily. Trying to find support at the 54-hour, but getting pushed down by the 20. Here the RSI is indicative of negative momentum as it's 44.67, and the MACD are tracking down. Looking at the support resistance levels, and you can see that resistance 1's at 21.31, resistance 2's at 22.10, with that key support at 20.1 and the support number 2 at 18.97, which is the 50-day. Moving on to the final charts for today, and Physicians Realty. Now they had a secondary issue, 400 million, and it priced at 20.4, which was a 5.56 discount to the previous close. So you can see 20.4 will take this back towards the 50-day moving average. In fact, right on the 50-day moving average. It'll break the uptrend that's been in place. We'll bring that RSI down, break the uptrend in the RSI, and will dramatically change the technical picture. If the 50-day were to hold, that would be a good sign, but the stock would need to get back up to the 20 before that starts to roll over. Likewise, the RSI would need to tick back up very quickly to get this positive momentum back in this stock. On the weekly, again, expect a pullback towards the price on the share placing. That will break this uptrend, but here we have got the 20 and the 50-week moving average having just created a golden bullish cross, so that does bode well for the medium-term picture. Let's see if the support on the dailies hold once we open. The weekly is still showing positive momentum and is presently 64.94, and the MACD also positive. On the 4-hour, you can see that we're going to drop below the 20 in the 54-hour moving averages. They will start to roll over very quickly. Here you can see that the trend on the RSI was already broken. That's likely to crack down below 50. Here the 20.5, if we open around there, that's seen as key support. So looking at the support resistance, let's really look at the supports. 21.13 is the 20, 20.97 is the 50 from the 4-hour. So that's been TA for traders, having a look at PurpleBricks, Sound Energy, Canada Goose and Physicians Reality. I'm sorry about the telephone going halfway through the video. You can't help these things, they do happen. I hope it didn't interfere with the sound too much. Thanks for watching the video. I'll be back tomorrow with more videos. Please remember, these are for information purposes only and educational purposes, and they're not meant as an investment recommendation. Thank you.